What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Gents Lounge Live. Today we have one of our friends from across the pond. Tim Dessaint is in the house. So today we're going to chat with him a little bit about style, and we're going to, you know, get into how he got started and talk a little bit about style. All right, let me introduce Tim. What's up, Tim?
Hey man, it's good to meet you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good considering we're
Yeah.
still on lockdown here, but things are well.
Yeah, are things crazy over there still? Like, LA is
Uh,
nuts.
it's a little bit confusing. Like our prime minister gave some sort of speech the other day that was a bit confusing. Like we don't really know where we're at, but basically like we're still on lockdown, and yeah, we're gonna have to probably stay in lockdown for a couple more weeks at least, I'm guessing, and things are probably slowly gonna go back to normal.
Yeah, in LA, they were like, you're in lockdown until July, but then they were like, the beaches are open on Wednesday. So I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but let's not talk about the coronavirus right now. Let's talk a little bit about you. And, this is the first time we're actually meeting. So I just kind of have a lot of questions for you that, I've been following you for a while and want to learn a little bit about how you got started and, how did you go from, where did you start and what got you into fashion and then what got you into kind of helping men dress better in the YouTube space of YouTube fashion?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I got into fashion like pretty young, I would say, like around my teenage years. I've been into fashion for a long time. It's just been a passion of mine for a very long time now. I just naturally gravitated towards it when I was in high school, as a form of self-expression, I think. Kind of when you're around that age where you're kind of um, realizing that like what you wear kind of influences like how other people interact with you and that sort of stuff, and you're a bit more aware of your personal image and how you look, how you present yourself. And I kind of fell into that, um yeah, around 14, 15, I would say, and I've been passionate about it since then. So naturally like that progressed into YouTube a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean the same thing for me. I was always into kind of dressing well, but I was more of like a punk rock kid. So it was always like denim jackets and like accessorizing my stuff, just trying to be different and stand out in a way and using clothes to do that. But then, I kind of went to college and grew up a little bit and got more into the menswear space and kind of trying to, make my image the way I wanted it to like portray to the world and get a job and, that kind of
Mm.
thing. So I know you're over in London and we're over here in LA. Do you see like huge fashion differences between like UK style or European style versus what we do here in America? Like not necessarily like what we wear, but like kind of how we look at fashion as like a
Mm.
tool.
So I'm probably not the best judge for that just because I haven't really lived in the US.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I've been
But
I've
you've
been
been
to
over
New
here
York.
a couple times, right?
Yeah, I've been over here a couple. I've been over in the U.S. a couple of times. Um, First of all, I would say the fashion in the U.S. New York is very different from the rest of the U.S.
Oh,
or from
definitely.
L.A. sort of stuff. So I think you have to make that point of difference. And also, like I think London fashion is very different from the rest of Europe as well. So I definitely think you can notice differences. Where I think you can find similarities actually is in the big cities.
Hmm.
Like if you look at big cities like Paris, New York, London, and the other fashion capitals, even though there are different styles, like you kind of see, I feel like a lot of people in New York wear black, right? We're all black, and
Yeah.
that's something you see a lot in big cities. It's also a common point I feel in London a bit, and in Paris even more. And then moreover, like after besides just wearing black and like the big city vibe, I definitely think that there are big differences in style between the UK, especially London and New York and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
So did you grow up in London?
No, no, not at all. I'm actually French Japanese.
Okay.
Uh, I've had a bit of a weird childhood where I traveled around quite a lot. My mother works for the government. My parents are separated, so I've always followed my mother around. And due to her career, we had to move around every 3 years basically. So ever since I was born, really, like the first time I hopped onto an airplane, I was 2 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
So since then, I've just been moving countries every 3 years, up until I was around 18. And then I kind of went on and did like my higher education and kind of did my life on my own. But yeah, so I've traveled quite a bit.
That's awesome. So I guess what was your favorite place that you lived in over the years?
So that's a common question, but it's like,
I mean, they're all different, right?
Yeah, because I don't really know because they're all very different, and especially like I've done a lot. I've done Canada. I've done like the other side, like Japan. I've done France, the UK now. I've went all the way to Australia. I've lived a lot in South America actually. Like that's where I kind of grew up from 12 to 18. I did like Uruguay and Ecuador, which are like Spanish-speaking countries with a very different culture from the US or from Canada, and even from Europe. So I don't know which one's my favorite. I think there's beautiful things about each country. There's things you can appreciate in every country. Like oftentimes I find that because I understand that I was like privileged and fortunate to have the opportunity to travel so much, even though it wasn't really my choice. I was just like born into like that lifestyle. Oftentimes when I speak with friends who like haven't traveled as much, they always think that the grass is greener elsewhere. Like if you're in Paris, you're like, I wish I was in New York, or
Yeah.
if you're in the US, you're like, I wish I lived in Paris. But really, like, of course there are huge differences, but it's everyone's kind of living the same life in the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like everyone eats, everyone like goes to work. Like your day-to-day life isn't that much different from one country to another. Of course, that's to take with a grain of salt because there are big cultural differences. But having traveled so much, it kind of learned me to appreciate each country for what it is and understand that the grass isn't necessarily greener elsewhere. And instead of looking like, oh, I wish I could live there, like, no, just appreciate the country where you live because there are millions of people who wish they were in your position. So,
Right. And I feel like even when you want to travel, it's different and it seems better or even like cooler because it's new. Like there's new restaurants, there's new things to see.
absolutely.
And it's not necessarily that it's better, it's just that it's different from what you're used to, so that's exciting.
One of the basic human needs is for uncertainty and stuff that is different from what you're used to. Like the human mind seeks that thrill that is different. So you could be in the coolest city in the world that after a while you're going to get bored of it and want to go somewhere else. So we all kind of need that stimulus. Different people need it to different degrees, but we all need a little bit of a difference. And that's why the grass is greener on the other side
Right.
comes from, I think.
Of course. All right, so we got a couple questions coming in. How many languages can you speak?
I can speak three languages like fluently, so French, English, and Spanish. French because my mom is French, like that's my first language. English just from living in Canada and all the movies and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and just yeah, English is it's a pretty natural second language, and Spanish just because I spent 6 years in Spanish-speaking countries, so I had to learn pretty quickly, otherwise wouldn't be able to order food and get by. So.
I mean, I hear you, man. All right, so another question from Alejandro. He asked what your favorite culture is, and I'm going to add to this question a little bit. What was your favorite culture, and then maybe what was your favorite style culture? Like, who do you think where you lived and what you learned? Like, what did you take away from how people dressed, or do you pull inspiration from all the other places you lived and things you've seen and stuff like that?
Mm. Um, I think Latin culture is very interesting. Having lived for 6 years in South America, like I've been around a lot of Latin culture, and a lot of my best friends are from there. It's a very people say it all the time, but it's a very warm culture. You know, people are very friendly, and I very much like that about them. It's helped me a lot with like my ability to socialize as like if you would stereotype Asians, you would generally think that they're less social, like social and stuff like that. I was naturally that way, like a bit more shy and less social, and having so many Latin friends and stuff like allowed me to get become a little bit more confident and yeah, be a little bit more confident in my own skin, that sort of stuff. So I very much like Latin culture. I love Japanese culture as well. There's I love the respect
Hmm.
that is prevalent in Japanese culture where people have a lot of mutual respect for each other. I like that a lot about it. I love the food that like
Yes.
I
Right.
love Japanese food. Like I could live off of Japanese and Italian like all day long.
I'm right there with you, man. My
Probably
father-in-law
my
is
two favorite
Japanese.
foods. Oh, it's so good. A Japanese curry, that's
Yes.
that's the best. And style wise, that's an interesting question. I like European style. Like I like Scandinavian style, even though I didn't really live in Scandinavian
Hmm.
countries. I like the more minimalistic, a little bit more intentional aesthetic where everything has a place in the outfit and everything has an intention behind it. I kind of like that pared back kind of style, but in style wise, like even though I have my own style preferences, like I very much appreciate all kinds of different styles, from like the very traditional like suit and tie pocket square menswear
Hmm.
to the more avant-garde streetwear. Like I've come to a place in my style journey where I can appreciate very much like the different ends of the spectrum, and I can see beauty in all kinds of different clothes. Like I think like for me, style and fashion is it's about beauty. Like I love aesthetics
Hmm.
and just stuff that's beautiful and well made and well designed. So I think yeah, you can learn from all kinds of different countries and stuff in terms of style for sure.
I mean, I think you brought up a really good point that, just because you don't necessarily dress a certain way doesn't mean you can't understand and respect, streetwear or menswear, or, because some people are like, I could never wear a suit. Like, I'm not about that corporate life. And, it's not necessarily about that. It's about, dressing with purpose and doing it for a reason. Like, you wear streetwear for a reason. You wear a suit for a reason. And a lot of people, I think, get lost on that and think, if you don't fit my mold, then we can't be friends or hang out, and it's different, and it's,
I think that's something that comes with practice and just the further you are into your style journey. Even though I don't really like that word like journey, but
right.
the further you are into your understanding of fashion and just experimenting with clothing, I think the more you understand, you learn like different styles and learn to appreciate them. Like I think at first I started just like copying the first thing I read. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when I first got into fashion, I was a dancer. I was heavy into dance. So I took a lot from the dance culture. So a lot of baggy pants, like lots of hip hop kind of stuff, and like loose clothing.
Yep.
And then when I got into like when I started reading like style blogs, that sort of stuff, I discovered this whole world of like more like classic menswear, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like that looks sharp. And I was getting into business school at that point. I was like, oh, you got to look sharp, like to get a good job, that sort of stuff. So I got a lot more into suiting and like more tailored, slim fitting clothing. And like I completely abandoned like my old style,
Yeah.
if you could say. And like afterwards, like I like my style developed even further after that. And I was like, oh, you know what? Like actually there is an in between, and there's different things you can learn. And like there's not just one kind of fit. Like when I first got into style and like learning about fit and that sort of stuff, um, especially with like my personality, I like things to be very structured. I like to understand. I like, oh, that's how this should fit. Like
Yes.
this is how it should be. So I have that mentality, and that's how I would think about fashion first. So it's like the shirt has to fit this way, the pants have to fit this way. But a little bit later on, I realized, oh no, actually, like there's different fits. Like
Right.
you can have a straight fit, you can have a slim fit, you can have a very wide fit, and those are all valid. There are different ways to wear the garment, and you can create different silhouettes.
Yes.
Um, like there's so much to experiment with, and that's where like I really fell into love with fashion a lot more, and I wanted to share that online and that sort of stuff, because I just yeah,
I'm
I very much enjoy it.
I'm right there with you, man. And I think it's, we all grew up kind of reading GQ and the fashion magazines and stuff like that. But I don't think that honestly GQ did a great job of explaining why we were supposed to wear the things they were telling us to wear. And I think a lot of our like menswear and YouTube fashion guys kind of go more into the why this works and how you can pull off like a baggier fit, or why you'd want a slim fit, or what type of shoe to wear with I feel like we explain more of the why to help people understand, how to put looks together, not just be like, you should wear a hoodie with a blazer, and it doesn't necessarily look good if the blazer fits like crap, you know. So I think it's great that we can kind of explain to guys that, this is the why, and this is, if you want to wear a certain type of look, this is how you do it. Because I know, like, I look at your Instagram and you do a lot of more kind of like oversized but still tailored fits, and I feel like that's more of a difficult style to make look great as you do. But there's certain. What would you say are like the main tips of how to pull off an oversized style but still keeping it looking tailored?
First of all, I would say like forget everything you've heard before. Like like a lot of the mainstream advice that you find online today, even though like as you said, there is more representation nowadays. There are more people showing different kinds of fits and that sort of stuff, and especially like men's fashion is evolving so much. I feel like men's fashion has always been behind women's fashion by a good margin. Like women
A
are so
decade.
much more keen to experiment with different stuff. Like sometimes I get bored of men's fashion. Like I look into like the women's section because it's like the men's fashion is always the same kind of clothing. Um, I would say first like forget the this is it has to fit this way. Forget that. Like forget all about that and actually look in the mirror. Like wear different stuff. Look in the mirror. Experiment. Like when you go shopping. Like even if you're not gonna buy stuff, like try everything. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
If you're gonna take go to a store that's a little bit more that has different silhouettes, that has different shapes. Like don't go to like an H&M or like maybe try like Zara is a little bit more fashion forward because they steal from the runway or like a COS or something like that. And like take like a slim fitting white shirt, take a relaxed fitting white shirt, maybe an oversized depending on how they label it, and try all of those on you and see how they fit and be like, okay, so if I wanted to make the oversized one work, what would I have to wear with it to make it aesthetically pleasing? You know
Right.
what I mean? Because obviously like if you've always been accustomed to wearing slim fitting clothing and you just buy one thing that's oversized and you incorporate it into your wardrobe, nothing's going to match because like your whole wardrobe is built around the clothes that you already have. So
Yes.
obviously you're going to have to build little by little.
But
So
then
you
you end
gotta
up thinking that you don't look good in oversized stuff because you don't have anything to go with it the rest of it.
exactly. You just didn't have the proper garment to match with that.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so just look at yourself in the mirror and like try to subjectively assess whether you like it or not. Don't look to someone else telling you that the shirt has to finish mid bicep. You know what
Right.
I mean? Um, this shirt fits like a lot longer than that. I like how it looks.
Hmm.
Like I don't care if you don't or like if someone else doesn't like I like how it like wear clothing because you like how it looks on you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like the gym. Like everybody starts going to the gym because you want to look good for the girls or for the
Hmm.
boys or whatever. You know, like because you want to attract whoever you're into.
Right. Yes.
Usually, not everyone, but usually, like that's how I got into the gym.
Same.
And then like as you get into it, you kind of actually enjoy working out, and then you're like, actually, I don't care if this girl thinks it's too much muscle. Like I want to look this way because I want to look this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think like the same goes into fashion. You first start getting into it because you're like, oh, I want to look good to attract the opposite gender. And then as you get more into it, you're like, actually, I just want to look good for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And when you look good for yourself, you're more confident, and then the opposite gender or whoever you're
Yeah,
into is actually into the confidence that comes with, dressing how you like and doing what you want.
absolutely. And like maybe I'll go a little more into like more technical advice around like oversized stuff, just because I feel like I just said
Do whatever you
like
want.
wear whatever you think looks good on you. But for some like practical advice around wearing like more relaxed garments, I think there's different ways you can go about it. Um, I think if you go relax on top, also going relax on the bottom helps to so that the silhouette is a little bit more cohesive.
Hmm.
Same with the sneakers. Like if you go like very wide pants and a wide top, and then like super flat, slim sneakers, it might look a little bit like you have tiny feet.
Right.
So maybe wear something a little bit chunkier. So whether that's a chunky sneaker, which is very on trend right now, or maybe like dress shoes, like loafers and that sort of stuff. They've been coming back with a little bit of like a gum sole that's a little bit elevated and that's a
Yeah.
little bit more streetwear, like something that's a little chunkier. So that's one way to go about it. Another way to go about it is also to go for something more slim fitting up top and something wider on the bottom. Like Harry Styles does that a lot.
Yes.
I think he pulls it off very well. Or you can also go the opposite, which is oversized on top and a little bit slimmer on the bottom. Like there's millions of different ways you can go about it. Like I don't like to say that there are rules in fashion. I don't believe in rules. Um, I think there's very few things that you can tell me where I'm like, oh, this is an absolute no.
Right.
Like my mind always goes to how can I pull this off? You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's a way to wear anything. You just have to find
Maybe
the
not
right way.
Crocs. Maybe not Crocs. I'm trying to think about things like I would never
Challenge accepted, right?
wear.
I mean,
But yeah, I always try to think like take a difficult to wear garment and be like, oh, how can I pull this off? And that gets you to be more creative and more experimental and more inventive with how you wear the garment, and it's going to push your style even further.
I always felt that it was more about, either being cohesive, like 100%, or like contrasty. When you have like just like a little bit of gap, say you went like like medium pants and a huge shirt, you know? I feel like it's better to go huge shirt, tight pants, or like huge shirt, huge pants. I feel like you need that contrast to make it interesting, but when you're like slightly doing like a little bit less and just kind of like sticking with the average, it doesn't really give enough of a gap or a contrast to see that you're trying to do something intentionally.
I think the key is to make it look intentional. The moment it looks accidental,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's where it can look a little bit off. Um, that's why that's why I like going very like either all relaxed or like make the very clear contrast. No, like you said, not kind of go like in the middle.
Yeah.
To make it look like this is how I want it to dress. This is the look I wanted to show off. If you don't like it, that's cool, but this is what I wanted to portray.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's take a couple questions because I've been kind of hogging all the questions because I'm really interested to chat with you. If you could only have one, would you have a camel or a black overcoat?
Ooh, that's very hard. Me personally, probably camel. But I would say that depends on if it's for someone else, it depends on what you wear most of. If you wear more like monochrome black and white, probably black. If you're in the more like gray navy color palette, if you have more like earth tones,
Mm-hmm.
I would say camel. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% would say camel as well. And I think, even to what you said, I think a camel works with a monochromatic, like black, white, and gray as like
It also
a
does, yeah.
pop of brown. But I don't know if black work. I mean, black would work with the neutrals too. So like, I like the look of a camel overcoat. It just seems like more
Yeah, same.
luxurious, you know.
I have
Um,
both, but
yeah, right. I actually don't wear much black. Like I'd go like dark navy overcoat instead of black, personally.
okay.
Um, let's see. Can
I'm gonna hop on the YouTube live as well
yeah,
with my phone. I kind of want to see.
yeah, you can check out the chat that's going on the side. Um, I got a question. Do you think we could make a video about matching your outfit based on your skin tone? Do you actually get into stuff like that? Do you pay attention to skin tone when you wear certain colors and clothes and whatnot?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a popular request. I don't know if that's one of my subscribers asking or not,
It
but like, I
might be.
always get this question. Yeah, I will make a video on that. I know I already said that I would, and I will. There's plenty of videos I want to make.
Yes.
I just don't have enough time, but I will definitely get in the not so distant future to a video on skin tones. I can get into it a bit. Like, I think skin tones matter, but probably less than most people think.
I agree.
Um, I think they matter, but I don't think there's. I don't. I don't like it when people say if you're dark skinned, you can't wear this color, or
Right.
if you're light skinned, you can't wear this color. No, you might not be able to pull off a certain shade of that color within a certain context with a particular outfit.
Right.
Um, but like red isn't just red. There's plenty of reds. There are cooler reds. There are warmer reds. There are thousands of different shades of reds. I don't believe anyone on earth cannot pull off red. You know what I mean?
I 100% agree. And maybe you can't pull off like a full head to toe outfit of that color, but you can always add a pop or a shirt
Yeah,
or some,
yeah,
there's accents you can add
absolutely.
in there.
And it's about choosing the right shade for your skin tone. Like, if you're pale as a vampire, no, maybe pastels probably won't look the best on you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that doesn't mean you can't wear pink. Like maybe you might not pull off a very light pastel pink. Maybe you can pull off a little bit more of a saturated pink.
Yes.
Um,
That's
and
it's funny. We were talking about pastels in the last live we did, and we are like, those like Easter colors and spring colors are the hardest for pretty much everyone, I think, to pull off. Just because they're like so bright and so kind of, I mean, bold, I guess. You notice pastels.
yeah, and like also like one advice that's often said about skin tones is that you want to create contrast. And that's valid. I think that's valid. That creating a contrast with your skin is going to be more appealing than if it's the very similar shade as your skin tone,
Right.
because then it's going to fade you out. But on the other hand, if you go for a full nude look, like Kim Kardashian or Kanye West often do, like that can look great as well. Because then you're saying like, fuck that. Like I'm going full, like super intentional with it and going for the nude look and fully like embracing it, and that can look great. Like I'm heavy into that. Like I'm heavy into a lot of. I'm pale, but not super pale. Like I'm a
Right.
little bit more tanned. I'm in the middle. Like if there's a scale from 1 to 5, I'm probably like a 2.
Yeah.
Um, on like the darkness of my skin. And I've been heavy into like cream tones and like off whites and ivory and all kinds of beiges right now that are very close to my skin tone, just because I love that very nude look right now, especially for summer and stuff. So yeah, there's no rules. Like there's just like
Yes. There's
if
guidelines, kind of.
there's guidelines, and then you gotta pull it off tastefully. You know what I mean? Like
Yes. Well, I mean, I think also it helps because you have more of a darker beard and darker hair too, so maybe the cream tones and those lighter tones still have some contrast with your face because of the dark hair and the dark beard.
sure.
40, do you know John from 40 Over Fashion? He,
I sure do. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he,
We met in Atlanta. We met.
oh, nice. You went to Menfluential.
I did, yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. So he sent over $10 in a super chat and said he loves the trimmed up beard, Tim.
Oh my God. I just trimmed it actually. People are gonna be mad because they were like loving the big beard. Yeah, I just snapped today this morning. I just trimmed it. I'm gonna post like I'm gonna do like a story or something about it, like the full process. Because I trimmed it myself. I usually go to the barber. Obviously I
Yeah.
can't go to the barber right now. And I that's why I let it grow for so long, but it was just getting too much, and I tried to do the best I could. I think I did a decent job, to be
Yeah, it
honest.
looks good. I mean, I trimmed my beard up during quarantine too. I did a straight 2 on just
Mm.
like the whole way around. How short did you go?
I went so like the reason why I go to the barber usually is because the way I like to do my beard, it's a little bit harder to do by yourself if you're not
You
like
fade
a
it?
skilled barber. Yeah, I go like very short on the sides, usually like a 2 or something.
Yeah.
I fade it really well on the sideburns, and then I fade it down here. I go a little bit longer on the beard, a little bit longer on the mustache, but not as long as the beard. And like I fade everything like very neatly.
Yes.
Today I didn't do that. Like I didn't fade it as well and stuff because
It's
I'm not as
it's hard
skilled,
to
so I
do.
didn't. I wanted to be cautious. But yeah, so I went to like a 4 or a 5 or something on the sides and maybe like a 7 on the beard.
Oh yeah, that's still pretty long.
Maybe we use different measurements. So those are millimeters. So I don't know if it's the same
Yeah,
as US.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I well also I did a beard trimming video back. But do you trim this way or do you trim this way when when you shave up or
Both.
beard trim?
I kind
Okay.
of yeah, I did both. Like I just
Because I go down with it on and I use a shorter guard because it doesn't take as much when you trim down. If you trim up, you'll take off like double the amount that you did when you went downward.
mm,
So if you go with the grain, you'll take off kind of just like the extra flyaways and it'll help you grow
mm.
out your beard. But if you go up, you're really going to get in and trim a lot more off.
Yeah, I think I really got in there.
Yeah. So that I mean that makes sense why you went 7 and 4 because those would be longer and you'd be good that way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another question from Alejandro. What are some underrated brands that you would recommend for both of our styles? I guess your style personally and my style personally.
Um,
That's always a tough
underrated.
question.
Yeah, underrated brands is a tough question because like, especially like me being on YouTube and creating content, like I when I can, I try to shop at brands where I know like I can send other people to
Yes.
because people always ask me like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" Like I'm tired of saying like, "Well, I got this like 5 years ago in a thrift store in Taiwan, so
Yeah.
there's no way you can get this." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have the
So,
same
like
issue.
I also try to shop at like brands that people can shop at. So underrated. I found out about 90s bag pretty recently, which is they launched pretty recently in the UK. It's like a minimal loungewear kind of brand.
Hmm.
They don't have a lot of pieces, but they do like very minimalistic tonal loungewear
Yeah.
in kind of a more streetwear style. So like oversized, like they have this thing called the airport suit, which is basically like joggers and a hoodie with a little bit more of an oversized fit, like very Korean style.
Yeah.
It's really aesthetic. I got one pretty recently. I think that's a cool underrated brand they just launched. Um, I can't think of underrated because underrated, I'm like people have to like not know it.
Right.
Um,
And
oh
I always think like I don't know if people know, because we're kind of in. I feel like a lot of
yeah,
brands that we know and think are like commonplace are not necessarily like known to everyone. That we kind of take for granted that we are into fashion and know about these brands.
True. There's a French designer called Agnès B.
Hmm.
Agnès is in like Agnes B. It was my first like designer piece that I ever got a couple of years ago, and that's probably an underrated brand. Really, really cool designer. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive, but for sneakers also like Artisan Lab.
Hmm.
They're also
Yes.
based in the UK. They do like minimalist type of like common projects type of aesthetic. There's a bunch of those, but like I discovered them this year, and they're really cool, full grain, really high
Yeah.
quality shoes, and actually cheaper than the other alternatives, like around the Oliver Cabell Koyo
Hmm.
grades price range. It's a little bit cheaper by like 20 or 30 bucks. So very, very cool brand. Actually, you should check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been really into actually Percival menswear.
Personal.
You know them?
I've heard of them. I've never tried.
Yeah, like they've been doing a lot of like knit Cuban shirts and like knit polos lately. So I've just
Mm.
been trying to like stock up on all that stuff this summer because I feel like that's gonna. Do you like decide like this is the vibe for my summer and this is how what I'm gonna wear? Because like I always try to pick a theme and I try to go and like explore it a little bit, but obviously still wear what I normally wear, but have something to build into my wardrobe for the
Mm.
future.
I don't think I go by like a theme or something. Especially now, like I don't buy in bulk.
Right.
Like I don't like shop.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll do a little bit of a spree here and there, but like I already have all my basics covered. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I don't need more basics. Like all of that is covered. So like when I shop now, I look for more like a little bit more experimental pieces that have like a little bit of flair to them, statement pieces, that sort of stuff. So I shop for that like here and there. And it's more about like does it fit my aesthetic and like what I'm into right now, more so than a certain theme for the summer or something.
Right.
But then like I look at trends, like for example, like um, if like let's say there's like 8 different trends like this summer, like I look at them and I'll think about, oh, maybe I like this one. This one doesn't really fit my style. And then I maybe integrate some of them into my wardrobe if I think that they fit my aesthetic and that they're gonna last for more than a year, because I don't want to be um, like unsustainable and just like changing my clothes all the time as well. So
Yes. I mean, I hear you on that one. All right, next question. What do you think the best color suits for job interviews are in 2020?
the best color suits for jobs. Depends on your age, but I would say like navy. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like everyone's gonna answer the same: navy and charcoal.
Right.
I think you cannot go wrong with either of those, especially if it's your first suit. If you're on the younger side, like navy is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like this is kind of a controversial opinion, but I think navy's more versatile than like a charcoal gray suit these days.
Is that controversial? I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. People always like charcoal's the first suit you should always buy, and I'm like, maybe.
I think both are just as versatile and fine, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I feel like everyone took that charcoal gray suit advice, so now you just see like a sea of charcoal gray suits with, you see more of them, so navy kind of
mm,
feels a little different to me. But
yeah.
because when you're in the fashion game, you kind of want to stand out a little bit and do things that are a little ahead of the curve. So I think that's probably why I feel that way about charcoal gray. Um, this is
And if you
actually
want to stand out, you can go for a little double-breasted or something.
exactly, and like suits are so great because you can have fun with the shirt, the tie, the pocket square, the accessories, and you can take one simple suit and get 30 different looks out of it.
Mm.
So this is a good question. Any ideas on carrying your essential items with fitted/slim pants? My pants fit just fine, but as soon as I put keys, a slim wallet, a phone in my pocket, I feel like it wrecks the silhouette.
So for me, I think especially among men, like not many people do that, but I don't put anything in my pockets.
Yeah.
Um, like nothing, not a key, not a card, nothing. I know like women are used to that. Like they always carry around purses. They don't really use their pockets. But male, like growing up, like men are more used to putting like just stuffing
Everything.
everything in there. And then like one of my pockets broke, like the stitching broke, and I was like, oh shit. And then I read that you're actually like, for example, like suit pockets,
Right.
you're actually not supposed to be like stuffing them because like it's gonna tear the fabric down, and then you're gonna have that little like bump coming out, like when the stitching is going to get worn out.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually don't put anything. I always carry something with me. So whether it's a backpack, like if I'm going to a coffee shop to work or something where I need to carry a little bit more, I'll always carry a backpack. And if not, like if I only need a wallet and my phone and my keys, I'll just put like a shoulder bag or something, like a fanny pack.
Mm-hmm.
I know like not everyone's into that aesthetic. Like I like it, so
Yeah.
like that it's very practical. And I think like as fashion evolves, like right now we're in a phase where like I would say it's probably a 50-50, depending on the demographic. It's probably a 50-50 of like, oh, fanny packs are cool or I hate those. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe if you ask like older gentlemen, like they'll probably like hate it more. And the younger maybe might like it a bit better. But I think like in 10, 20 years, it's not even going to be a question.
Right.
Like it's going to be weird not to like, it's going to be a staple of menswear for sure.
Well, I mean, I feel like it got, kind of a bad rep in the 80s when everyone was rocking like, those types of fanny packs. And then we kind of tried to take it back in the recent decades or recent 5 years, I guess. But then it just stuck with the younger crowd right now. So now as the younger crowd gets older, it's going to spread to everyone. And I agree 100% with you. I've been trying, I still put a lot of stuff in my pockets actually, but luckily, well, not luckily, but when it's cold out, I always use my like inside pockets of my jacket, so like wallet and cell phone, and I literally only have one key. So like I have like a little circle key fob for my apartment, and that's the only thing I carry. So yeah, I feel like jacket pockets make it easier to kind of, as long as your jacket's not super slim tight, like a
Yeah,
wallet,
put a
slim
little
slim
wallet
wallet
in
in
there or
there and a
something.
phone if you're good. I guess that would be my advice: is if you can wear a jacket, throw it in the breast pockets, and
Yeah.
you'll save your pant fit. Um, I was too busy answering that question to find the next question. Somebody said they were wearing their Artisan Labs right now,
There you go.
and
Nice.
shout out to Tim in the first marshmallow suit.
He's talking. That's because I mentioned '90s back earlier. Um, yeah, because they said I was wearing because I put it up in my stories. Got a bunch of comments about it, and like I responded to like a hate comment where he was saying like, "Oh, that looks ugly on you," whatever. Or it's like, "Oh, no, like you're not gonna attract girls in that," or something like that. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I just want to look like a giant marshmallow.
Yeah.
So people like it's kind of the marshmallow suit to everyone from there.
Yes. This one's fun. This one might be more for you than me because I don't know if I have much advice on this. But any ideas on how to wear high top sneakers like Chuck 70?
High top sneakers like Chuck 70. Um,
What is a Chuck
like
70?
the Chuck 70, I think he's that also may be a sneaker that I have. Which is the Chucks. Oh wait, is he talking
I
about
think
those?
it's just Converse high tops, like the
It's
Chuck
just the
Taylors.
Converse
Yeah,
high
yeah,
top. Yeah. I see what he means. Um, like usually looks better when you cuff them, I think.
yeah.
Like I don't mind a bit of stacking on Chelsea boots, but like on high top sneakers, I usually prefer to either wear crop pants or if they're non-crop pants, like cuff it once or twice so that you kind of show off the shoe a bit more. Besides that, I don't know. Like I think that's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I actually think Chuck Taylors are probably one of the easier and more versatile styles of, I guess, high top sneakers. One, because they're classic and they have
Mm.
more of a like a thin silhouette than like your typical basketball shoe nowadays. Which I always did you ever get into like the Jordans and that kind of like shoe trend?
I hate Jordans.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, hey,
To
to
be
each
honest.
their own. But
I
like,
I just can't with the Jordans. I don't like the aesthetic. Um, I can appreciate someone else pulling them off.
yeah.
Like I've seen them on other people where I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. On me, I just can't. I
Yes.
can't.
I mean, hey, I agree with you. I was into the sneakers. I was a sneakerhead for like probably like 4 or 5 years. Did all the hype beasts, like had Supreme everything for a long time in
Yeah.
college. And now I put on a pair of Jordans that I keep just because like they were my favorite Jordans back in the day, but I wear them with clothes I wear now and I'm like, this does not work anymore.
And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of like more quote unquote hype sneakers that I think are beautiful
Hmm.
and that I would wear. Just the Jordans in particular, like
Yeah.
those. those I just can't.
Oh, no worries. Um, all right, this one's actually fun. Alex Chu said that he wanted to see me try the same silhouette as you. That would be a fun video.
We should do a like a not a style makeover, but like a swap your style or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. Like I'll take like a photo or a couple images as you send me for inspiration, and I'll try to put a look together that is
Yeah,
inspired by that, and then I'll send you three of mine, and we'll figure it out.
yeah. Or like let's just like meet up after Corona.
Hey, I mean, I'm down, so I'm just itching to get out of the house. So anything we need to do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to get out.
Hell yeah. All right. This is a fun question, actually. Which menswear pieces would you recommend to invest in for higher end purchases? Like, what are your staple pieces?
Um, so for so you're saying like the person is saying they want to spend more, they want to invest more into something, they want to know like where they should invest, right?
I think maybe the brands, but also like overcoats or
Mm.
what pieces would you
So,
invest in?
so if you have some money and you're like, oh, I want to like up the quality and like I can invest a little bit more, I would say shoes is a good place.
Hmm.
That's probably where I'll spend the most for like an item in fashion. Because good quality shoes, it's just there's like I have some shoes from Zara and like they look cool, but they're just not very comfortable. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like a good quality pair of shoes, like you'll get your money's worth. So I think shoes is a good one. Um, Depending on your style, like if you're into leather jackets, like a good leather jacket, that sort of stuff, a well-made coat
Hmm.
that's not gonna like get worn out very very quickly, especially because like leather, like faux leather, tends to like get worn out and
And
like
crack.
and crack and that sort of stuff. So maybe that, but definitely shoes. Like yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I 100% would agree. I think shoes, jackets, and maybe suits. Like you basically want to think the things that aren't
yeah,
going to go out
shoes.
of trend, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Like cuz if
And things you need for your lifestyle. You
you're
know what I
right.
mean? Like
Yeah, if you live in somewhere where it's super hot, maybe jackets aren't the best investment.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like if you don't go to a job where you need suits or you don't like suits, uh, like you won't need a suit. But same with shoes, like um, sneakers or dress shoes. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some people might have to wear dress shoes for work, some people might not. So that's also it. Like I'll spend money on shoes, but I don't really have that many dress shoes.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple like for when I need them. But when I'm dressing for myself, besides like Chelsea boots, which I really love, like I'll usually wear sneakers, but like I won't mind shelling out like a couple of $100 for a good pair of sneakers if I really love it.
Right. I mean, I 100% agree. And I think a lot of people it comes down to like knowing what you're doing in life and like my dad who works, a corporate job with wears dress shoes all the time is like, "How could you spend $500 on sneakers? I only spend $60 on my sneakers." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you spend 350, 400 on dress shoes because you wear them every day." Like,
Yeah.
when you wear
And you can just say, Dad, it's a business expense.
well, I mean now, but like before I did all this, I would spend that much money on sneakers too. And my dad's like, "You should be getting nicer shoes," but I was like, "But I don't wear nicer shoes that often back then." So
Yeah,
it's really you can spend a little bit more, even if the purchase isn't justified for someone else. It has to be the right purchase for you.
absolutely.
Marcus asked, which is which which is more awesome brands between H? I think what are some other brands that are in the H&M Uniqlo price range you would recommend?
Um, Uniqlo 100%. Everlane is a little bit more expensive, but
Yes.
I would highly recommend for good basics. Like I would say those are my two go-to for basics, like Uniqlo and Everlane. And like actually Uniqlo like makes some more a little bit more fashion forward stuff today than before, especially with like the U collection and that sort of stuff. So that's even good for more fashion forward stuff. But definitely Uniqlo and Everlane. Like I have like items that I love in both, and I kind of alternate depending on like what I'm looking for. Like I prefer like Everlane's jeans, for example, but I prefer Uniqlo's like easy EZY trousers, for
Yeah.
example. So depending on what I'm looking for, I think those are the two I would most recommend.
I'm. Do you know COS?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, COS is a little pricier, but I
Yeah,
feel
that's a
like
little. That's why I didn't like. I love cost, but
yeah,
for me, it's a little bit on the higher end in terms of price. compared to Uniqlo.
That's
Um,
true. But I mean, even I feel like a lot of people don't also realize that when you go to H&M, they have like six or like three tiers of turtlenecks. There's like a $15 turtleneck, a $25 turtleneck, and your like $70 turtleneck. That is,
yeah.
it is great, but it's still it's there's a gap of like 50, $60 between, the cheapest turtleneck and the most expensive turtleneck at H&M. So
Hmm.
you can spend money at H&M and Uniqlo if you wanted to,
Yeah.
but you know, um, let's
And
see.
Zara as well. Like
Yeah.
if you don't, like not for basics. Like I wouldn't go to Zara for basics because, like, let's face it, like the quality of your stuff is not great.
Hmm.
It's not the best materials and stuff. But like for more like fashion forward designs, like you can find the odd piece here and there for a lot cheaper than you would pay like from a designer brand. And like almost everything they produce, like they got from the runway, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they slightly tweaked it so it's a little bit more commercial, but a lot of their stuff is ripped off from designers. So like if you want more statement pieces, and you're on a low budget, I'd go to Zara.
And their sales are insane. They have like
Yeah.
I think I got like five turtlenecks. I don't know why I'm all talking about turtlenecks today, but I got like five turtlenecks for them. They were like $5 to $10 each. Like after winter, I'm stocked up for next year, even if I wear them, a handful of times because they're all like wild colors. But it'd
Mm.
be interesting. Next question. This one's actually really fun. When putting together an outfit, where do you start? Top down, down up, or do you have the full idea first?
So for me, for a long time, I don't do this anymore. For a long time, I would start with the pants.
Hmm.
Because the pants, like they're connected to both your top and your bottom, and your shoes. I mean, so like if you get the pants right, and then you just have to think about like what shoes go with that and what top goes with that, and you can pull it off. Whereas like if you start to think with what you're wearing on top, maybe you'll get the pants right, but then like you'll forget about the shoes or something. So I like that for a while. Um, but now I actually go by either I select one piece that I want to wear. I'm like, what do I want to wear today? I want to wear this jacket. I want to wear these shoes. I want to wear these pants. Like, just it can be a scarf. It can be anything.
Right.
And then I try to build a look around that one piece. Whether it's a statement piece or not a statement piece, it can also just be like, I want to wear this pair of jeans, straight fit jeans. You know what I mean? Like, what do I want to wear with that? It's easier if it's a statement piece because then you can like have more of a theme around it. So either by a piece or a theme. Like, am I feeling um, like sometimes I'm just in an all black kind of mood. So I'm like, I'm wearing all black. So I recently did a closet clean out. Everything got like properly organized and stuff. So like now everything's color coordinated. So I can just open and say, okay, these are my black jackets. Which one am I going to wear? So I would say either by theme or by like a specific piece.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I'll pick one piece that I know I want to wear and then build the outfit around that. Or I'll say I want to look like an urban cowboy today and,
Yeah.
you know, figure that out.
And that's also like I'm able to do that just because like I have more statement pieces today.
Yeah,
If you're at a point where your wardrobe is fairly like limited to like the basics and versatile stuff, like it's gonna be hard to like look at a white shirt and say, okay, I'm gonna build around this white t-shirt. You know
right.
what I mean? So in that case, I would probably like go back to what I said earlier, which was like start with the pants or something, or start with the theme, like go for a look, like oh, like am I going like is this a casual Friday at the office? Is it like brunch on a weekend, like walking by the seaside? I don't know, like try to like play a story in your head, like we have to remember like us guys like would like to be very mathematical and very structured and analytic about things, but fashion is about like self-expression. It's about like telling a story. Like first and foremost, fashion is about storytelling and about like that's what brands do. Like when like a brand like releases a collection and they make an ad, they make a campaign, or the way they portray clothes, like they want just like perfume brands, which have a very similar style. They want to portray a story to people. They
Right.
they want you to look at the clothes and imagine like a whole thing in your head and be like, oh, like I would wear this and this, and then I would go to a nightclub and I would pick up that girl. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
play that story in your head, and fashion is about stories for me. So yeah, like pick a theme or something and have fun with it.
I think that's a great answer. Um, all right. Sharam asked, what is one outfit both of us would wear in doubt? What would it be? Like, I guess if you had like one go-to outfit in your mind, like this will work, or like your favorite, like, I don't know how to explain this, but if you're gonna put one outfit together, what is it?
Yeah, if you're late, like you
Yeah.
gotta go somewhere, you don't have time, like you gotta make something together in like 2 minutes. Um,
Like
I would
when you think of
100%.
your ghost self, what are you wearing?
Definitely like a pair of black cropped trousers. Depending on the weather, either a turtleneck or a t-shirt. The t-shirt would either be like slim fitting and tucked, or more relaxed and like untucked with like longer sleeves, and then like some sort of cool jacket
Yeah. I
and
mean,
sneakers,
I,
something like that.
I feel like I'm going dark denim, like light tan Chelsea boots, some sort of like textured t-shirt with a denim jacket on top. Probably this hat because I wear it
This hat.
constantly. But and I need a haircut right now, so my ghost outfit's not looking great.
That's why
um,
you picked the hat. You
oh,
got to cover up the.
dude, it's I mean you're lucky you got the long hair going that, a few inches doesn't make a difference, but when you're doing like zero fades on the side and you go from zero fade to 4 months of wow, it's not great.
I'm pretty happy about the long hair right now.
No, dude, it looks good. Any tips for getting through the awkward phase? Because I might be in your boat pretty soon if this keeps going.
To be honest, like at some point it's gonna get ugly. Like you can't bypass.
Right.
The only thing you can do is the best you can to style it. Whether you're wearing a hat or you manage to like comb it or put some product in there, kind of slick it back. Probably like at the beginning, it might look better to like slick it on the side, and as it gets longer, probably you can slick it back if you have the hair texture to like actually manage to get it in place and like
Right.
hold it in place. Yeah, it's hard. Like at some point, it's gonna get really ugly, especially when the sides are long, but like they can't like hide in the back. You just gotta get through it though.
Yeah. I mean, I had long hair in high school, like went to my shoulders pretty good, but I don't like I feel like I didn't care about anything in high school, so I was like, whatever, like I'm playing
Yeah.
sports every day and not like, it just wasn't now I have to like film a video every day and I've been wearing this hat in like the last 10 of our videos because I need a haircut so bad. But
Yeah, I let my hair grow like at a moment where I had braces, so I was like, well, fuck it. Like I have braces, I look like crap. Like let's just let it all go to shit, and
yeah,
I'll look 10 times better afterwards. So
I mean that's my theory with this because I was like, do I try to give myself a quarantine haircut or do I see how far I can get? Well, stuck like no one's gonna judge me for wearing a hat the whole time because obviously I can't get a haircut. So,
yeah, 100%.
this one's actually I don't know if you've ever dealt with this, but like how does body changes like losing weight, gaining weight impact your style, and how do you cope with that?
Oh, it definitely impacts it. I've had like the opposite issue, kind of. I don't know if you can say it's an issue, but like I used to be very skinny.
Hmm.
And then I started working out, started paying attention a bit more to my nutrition, and started putting on some weight, some muscle, some fat, because it has to come with it. But I packed on a bit of muscle. Like I still look very slim. Like I'm no bodybuilder, but if you look at my pictures when I was like 15, I was a skeleton, man. So yeah, so I had that problem of like going from very, very skinny to a little bit bulkier. And yeah, so I had the problem of like I could only wear skinny jeans before that. And like, cause skinny jeans wouldn't fit me like skinny jeans. They'd
Right.
fit me like a regular pair, like today, you know what I mean? Like I'd still have room in my skinny jeans. That's how skinny I was. And that's why like people say like, oh, like can I wear a skinny like skinny jeans doesn't mean that they're skinny. Like it mean like if you are skinny, they might not fit you like skinny jeans. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just like a regular fit might fit super skinny on someone that's a little bit bulkier.
Right.
So you got to wear like what's appropriate for your body type. Like don't look at the label and be like, oh, I'm gonna wear this and it's gonna fit regular on me. No, it's gonna fit depending on your body type.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So 100%, and different brands also size differently. And like look at the garment. Don't look at the brand. Don't look at the label. Like wear the garment and like look at it for
try
what
it
it is.
on.
Exactly. And there's manufacturing defects. Like I literally have T-shirts from the same brand and stuff. Like the same T-shirt that's different sizes. Like it's in the same size, but they fit differently because they made a mistake manufacturing it. You know what I mean? Like look at the garment.
Yes.
So yeah, I used to only be able to wear skinny jeans, and then I had to upgrade. Like as I put on some weight, I couldn't wear that anymore. I went to slim, and now slim is a little bit too slim for me. So like I mostly only wear straight jeans. Straight fit is like my go-to today. I can still wear slim if I want something a little bit slimmer.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'll wear like loose fitting as well. So I'll kind of alternate. Like my spectrum now is like slim, regular, wide,
Right.
depending on the look I'm going for.
Yeah, I end up tailoring most of my pants in denim because I've got like small waist, like very large thighs, and then like I don't like that like wide look at the bottom, so I taper everything from the knee down. But it's so hard to find pants for me that are, perfect in the thighs and then not just like a big long tube at the bottom of my pants.
But yeah, for the person that was asking that, because I just realized I didn't give like actionable advice. I just talked about myself. Um, if you're losing weight, like at some point, yes, like your clothes aren't gonna look great, like they're gonna be too big. Like try to do like the awkward stage with your hair. Like try to get by using belts and that sort of stuff. Because obviously, like if you're losing a massive amount and you're on a big journey, you're not gonna buy clothes at every stage. You know what I mean?
Right.
So try to try to do the best you can with what you have. Try to wear belts. Embrace the oversized look because hey, it's gonna get oversized. Your skinny stuff is gonna get oversized if you lose a lot of weight. And same with the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's very good advice. I always feel like if you're intentionally losing or gaining weight, like wait until you get to what your goals
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
for sure. But if you're kind of just if your body fluctuates, like, I honestly gain like 10 to 15 pounds every winter because I'm not at the gym as much and I'm not outside as much.
Hmm.
But I always try to not buy clothes that I know are bigger sizes than I normally wear. So
Hmm.
like I just force myself to fit in and like make sure I stay the same size. So that's kind of like if I realize like certain pants are getting tight on me, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
time to put some work in and, stop eating like crap. So I feel
Yeah.
like
And going back to more like relaxed and oversized fitting clothing, the beauty of that is that it gives you more
right.
lenience and more flexibility to play around with. Where it's like, if you have an oversized tee, even if you put on some weight, like it's still gonna be fine for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you wear very tailored clothing, like it can get out of control really fast. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
that's the
I
beauty
I do
of
know
that as well.
exactly what you mean.
Like I had I just had to give away two like made to measure suits, like some of my first made to measure suits, because I don't fit in them anymore. Like they had left some fabric in there to kind of let it loose a bit if I wanted to. I already used up that fabric. It's still too tight, and now I can't wear that. And I paid a lot for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that sucks. That it's because I had tailored it very slim back then. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've made some tailoring mistakes as well, like way too tight and way like super tight in the suits and 1 or 2 pounds different, and you're like, this doesn't fit anymore. So, I mean, it's
100%.
interesting though to go back to those first suits that I was wearing, and I'm like looking at photos of me, and then I'm like, this fit me. It was like loose on me, and now it's like skin tight in the arms because I don't know what I've been doing at the gym, but like. I'm trying to do the opposite at the gym as everyone else. Like I want to get slimmer and like lose muscle, which is like the goals for no one ever. But
You want to lose muscle?
I just want to be smaller. Like
Okay.
I'm like I played hockey growing up, so like I've been in the gym since like I was like 10 years old until I was 23.
Yeah.
And just hockey builds your legs, and then I rode BMX bikes too, so it was just like my legs got massive and I'm just trying to like slim down. So I've been doing a lot of
Yeah.
cardio and like super high reps, lightweight kind of weight training.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the most important part, like, and again, I'm not a physical, like, I'm not a physical trainer.
right,
I'm not a nutritionist, but for me, it's like it's all in the nutrition. Like,
100%.
like, regardless of what you do in the gym, like the way I see things is, if like everyone burns a certain amount of calories every day. Like that's your total daily energy expenditure, is
Right.
what you call it. If you eat a bit less than that every day consistently, you're gonna start losing weight. If you're training and working out and using your muscles, hopefully you're going to lose more fat than muscle.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything, you're mostly going to lose muscle, maybe a bit of fat. Like you're always going to lose muscle and fat. You can't like do just one or the other.
Right.
The ratio of what you're going to lose is depending on how much you're working out and stuff, and how much you're using those muscles. But in the end, like your nutrition is the thing that's going to determine whether you're going to lose weight or gain weight or maintain.
Yeah, it's impossible to work off too many calories. Like one Snickers bar is essentially like doing 100 burpees. So, if you want to
Yeah.
snack on candy all day long, you got to do like 3,000 burpees for that day to even work off that amount of calories, which is almost physically impossible.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more questions. We're almost. Oh, actually, we came up on the hour, so a couple more questions, then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
This one's interesting. How do you develop a style if you live in a hot country like India?
Um, I don't think like I don't think that has any like I don't think you can't be stylish or be well
Right.
dressed because you're in a hot country. A question I get very often because I have a large audience also in India and in tropical countries, is do videos for like tropical weather, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna make more summer videos soon. Like it's getting hot in here. I will be making more like warm weather videos, but like you can look very good in less clothing. Like you don't need to be wearing like 3 or 4 layers to look good. Obviously you have less to play with, so like that's gonna be a thing. But it's the exact same principles of fit and silhouette and color matching and like patterns and fabric and like the same principles apply. You just have less to play with. You know
Right.
what I mean?
I
Um,
100% agree.
there is absolutely nothing saying that you can't look good in warm weather. You know what I mean?
I feel like your priorities just have to be a little bit different. So instead of maybe making like a jacket or the outerwear pieces kind of your statement pieces, you make, your shirts that you're wearing more of the statement because that's what you got. Or you add, some accessories like some glasses or a hat or a watch and bracelets just because that's going to be lightweight, keep you cool, but you're still going to be able to add a bit of self-expression.
Absolutely. And like for if we're talking like developing a style and not like just looking good, because like I think you can look good whether you're in a t-shirt or a full wool suit for winter.
100%.
If we're talking about like developing like an individual style with less clothing because you have less to play with, like I think I love using mood boards.
Yeah.
Like I'm on Instagram a lot, like saving pictures and stuff from things that I like. Like make your own mood boards to kind of see what you gravitate towards, like the color palettes you like, what you see other people wearing that you like. And it doesn't have to be only guys, it can be women too. It doesn't even have to be just clothes. Like it can be geometry, it can be architecture. Like kind of make mood boards of the aesthetic that you're into and like what you like. And as you rewatch those, you're kind of gonna see a theme around it. You know what I mean? Like everyone has preferences that gravitate towards something. And with that in mind, like you can then think about, okay, so if this is the aesthetic that I want to go for, like in summer, how would a person with that aesthetic dress? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
Um, I hope I managed to like explain that in a way that makes sense. But
No, I
yeah,
mean that makes sense. Like when you think of someone, I mean, broad example, but you think about James Bond, right? I'm sure if you think
exactly.
if I said James Bond on the beach, you have an image in your head of
Yes,
how he would be dressing.
that's create
So
that persona. That's exactly it. Like that's a perfect example. Like if your style is like I'm going for that James Bond classy look, like how would James Bond dress like in summer on the beach? Like picture that. And same with any style, you know what I mean? Like, are you going for like a celebrity like chic look or something? Like, how would Harry Styles dress in summer? You know what I
right.
mean? Or you can even look up his Instagram and see
All
how he
right. So
dresses.
so now I got a question for you. Now that we brought up James Bond on the beach, so what outfit are you picturing when you picture James Bond on the beach versus what outfit I'm picturing when I picture James Bond on the
Oh,
beach?
James Bond on the beach, I would probably picture like um trousers like either like formal, not jeans,
Yeah.
or it could be jeans, but I would picture like some sort of like classy linen trousers without wrinkles or anything, with a tucked in polo shirt
Uh huh.
that's well fitting, that looks good, with a good pair of sunglasses and shades, good pair of sunglasses, a good haircut, like a Rolex or something on the hand, and probably like barefoot walking on the beach.
Yeah. So in my mind, what I pictured was open linen shirt, like two or three buttons open, probably a shorter like mid thigh, like dark textured swim trunk type deal, and then also Omega
Yeah,
Rolex
I can
type
definitely
dial.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
like, but that's a perfect example that, what you think of James Bond at the beach is totally different than what I think, and that aesthetic, in someone else's mind can work. You just have to picture it, and it's
Yeah,
not necessarily going to be the same exact look for everybody.
yeah.
That's actually a fun exercise. Like,
It
I,
is. It
I,
is.
I like doing that. All right, so one or two more questions, then we'll pop it out. Um, where do you look for inspiration for new looks? Do you go more archival and try to innovate older looks, or move forward and try something new that most people haven't embraced yet?
Oh, that's a good question. I think a bit of both. I think you like because I just did a closet clean out. Like I found some older pieces, which I was like, I'm gonna get rid of these. But then I ended up wearing them. And I'm like, oh, actually, I can pull them off this way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think like going back to like older pieces that you haven't worn in a while and seeing how you can pull it off in a totally different way. I think that's a cool exercise to do. But also like yeah, looking at as I mentioned before, like I take a lot of inspiration from people I see on Instagram and that sort of stuff. So creating mood boards that way. So I think there's different ways to go about it. I think both are perfectly valid. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like inspiration for new looks is pretty much taking what's in my closet while combining what I've been looking at in life and noticing out in the real world and figuring out how to, change up the old stuff to make it look new, and then also incorporating find kind of new trends and new pieces that I have bought into the old stuff that's already in my closet. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
I think we both kind of also preach about, buying pieces that fit your wardrobe and not trying to buy pieces and then build a wardrobe around the new pieces that you buy.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Last question. Do you think it's okay for darker people to have your style, Tim? Like, do you think it will fit darker people in your style? Hang on. I think I read.
Sure.
I think I read that wrong because yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Hundred
obviously it's
percent.
okay.
Of course it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Like there's no reason you can't pull off my style because you have dark skin. Like the color of your skin doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's
No.
about what style you gravitate towards and how you pull it off and yeah.
All right. So
Definitely.
I got a question for your style actually. Do you do you think it's easier for like a skinnier guy to pull off your type of style versus like someone more muscular and larger? Asking personally because I don't think I could ever wear like 50% of the stuff that I see you pull off, and I think it looks great on you, but I picture me in it and I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
Um Again, I think different body types can pull off a similar style. It's just about finding the garments with the right fit and the right proportions. Um, like if you look, for example, so I'm a little bit more on the slimmer side.
Hmm.
Um, I think we don't have the exact same style at all, but like I think there is some similarities between, for example, Daniel Simmons' style and my style.
Hmm.
And he's the exact opposite. Like he's very very muscular. Like that the guy's ripped.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like he's a freaking machine. And he pulls off the oversized look very very well. We did a video together about how to pull off oversized and relaxed kind of clothing. I think Devin on deck also like there are some similarities between our style in the sense that he likes that minimal aesthetic.
Yeah.
And he likes the more relaxed kind of minimal silhouettes that I see him pull off. And he's a little bit more on the bigger side as well. I think he's taller as well. So yeah, I
He
think.
lives like 2 blocks from me.
Oh, nice, nice.
He was in my wedding
Yeah,
actually.
that's awesome. I
No.
think regardless of your body type, like you can pull off different stuff. I think like if you're looking at something and you're like, I would never fit in that. I don't think it's because of your body type. It's just because it's not your style.
Right. I 100%. It's in my own mind because I'm not
Mm.
used to seeing myself in styles like
That
that I think, oh, I could never wear that because I'm not used to seeing me looking in
yes.
that way in the mirror. I think
There's two.
sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I think a lot of people kind of struggle with that issue too because I know I did early on that I would, try different styles and different types of shoes or something and they would look so different like when I looked down at my feet from what I was used to like from going to like a dad shoe to a Vans Authentic, it's a huge jump. And like to people looking at you, I don't think they notice that huge jump as much as you notice because of what you're so used to seeing.
100%. For me, there's two things. There's one, which is a minority. It's that you see something and it's actually not your style. Like you are fully like you are very developed in your style, and you know like for a fact like no, that's just not my aesthetic. That's not my style.
Right.
But I think most people it's actually not that. It's more like what you said, where it's you see something that's different, so you try it, and since you're not used to seeing yourself in that, it doesn't look good to you. It's not that it doesn't look good. It's just that humans don't like change. Like our brain is wired to not seek change, to be comfortable, and like anything that's a disturbance to what you're used to is going to seem like awkward, and your brain's going to tell you like no, don't go and do that. And that can apply to larger things just as well as it can apply to style. So if you're not used to seeing yourself in a certain fit or in a certain color or whatever, or in a certain type of shoe, once you're going to try it, you're just going to be like, no, that's not me. It's not that it's not you. It's just that you're not used to seeing it. So you just don't like how it looks because it's different from what you're used to. That doesn't mean it doesn't look good. And I think like that's 95% of the people. It's more that. I think there are some people where it's like I can see something and know for a fact that I cannot wear that because I just don't like it. I don't like Jordans. Like
well, you don't want to wear it. It's not that I bet you could pull off a look where you look good in Jordans.
Yeah, I can probably pull off a look where it's like if someone objectively looks at like someone else might like it.
Right.
But I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Because I know it's not my style. And those are two different things. So if I think most people are in the second category and are not yet at this stage where they're like they know for a fact like, oh, this is not me.
Yeah.
It's just that they haven't tried enough things. So like just try more, experiment more, and try different things and see what you like, see what you don't like, and you'll develop yourself and your style more that way.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, Tim, I mean, we've been here for over an hour. Thanks for chatting with me. Really great to meet you, honestly. I have links to all of Tim's Instagram, YouTube, all the channels down below if you guys want to check Tim out. Do you want to give a outro to shout out anybody or?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty.
Yeah, check out my YouTube, check out my Instagram if you like what I say, and yeah.
So yeah, stay on the line real quick. Once I end this, we can chat real quick and wrap this up.
Sounds good.
Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you tuning in. We try to do this once a week, so comment in the comments down below who you'd like to see on next, or if you suggest anybody that we should get on. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.